This episode of Android Authority is brought to you by JackThreads. If you head to signup.jackthreads.com/Android Authority, you can skip the waitlist and sign up today. We've got some news about the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, we have some camera phone developments from Sony, and Iron Man and HTC team up. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And it's time for another dose of the week's top Android news. It's Android Authority Weekly. As expected, the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 rumors and speculation has begun. With IFA and the Unpacked Part 2 Samsung event just a few weeks away, it's pretty safe to say that we can expect a lot of this to happen in the coming days. First up, Sam Mobile reported that there will be two versions of the Galaxy Note 3, and that while most markets will be getting the 32GB model, only some will be getting the 64GB version. And the Note 3 will be overall the same dimensions as its predecessor while packing a slightly larger display at 5.68 inches, likely due to a slightly smaller bezel. Sam Mobile then went on to report that there will indeed be versions of the Note 3 that sport either the Exynos quad-core or the Snapdragon 800. Basically, the LTE versions will get the Snapdragon 800, while the Exynos processor will get put on primarily 3G handsets. To be fair though, this list of countries for their release has not been finalized yet. Other specifications that were reported included a slightly bigger battery and Android 4.3 built in. This development regarding Android 4.3 was confirmed by a DLNA certification website that listed at least the Korean versions of the Note 3 as coming with the new version of Android built in. Software usually doesn't get changed between versions of phones, so it's pretty safe to say that we're just going to get Android 4.3 on the Galaxy Note 3. Now, if we could just get our updates to the other Samsung phones and other phones in general, that would be great. Alright, so a little while ago it was reported that Robert Downey Jr. was brought on by HTC for a huge ad campaign. Well, the first product of what looks to be a 2-year, $1 billion arrangement between Iron Man and the phone company was released this past week. Essentially, RDJ's character is set on figuring out what HTC could really stand for. They go through a number of different variations like hipster troll car wash and hold this cat. Personally, I found the commercial kind of weird, especially because Robert Downey Jr. felt a little tacked on. He didn't seem like he was really acting out a character, and his personality honestly didn't really come out. But if we're playing the HTC game, I thought of a few after watching this commercial. What the crap? Hate tall cabinets. Hide the Coke! Are you ready for more Nexus 5 rumors? Despite the back and forth that we've seen from LG and Google, more and more sources are claiming that LG will indeed be developing the update to the Nexus 4. A Chinese publication puts the Nexus 5 at the same price point as the Nexus 4 at launch, and while it will be based on the LG G2, it won't be entirely similar. 1080p resolution and a Snapdragon 600 processor were also rumored. And then, a publication from Vietnam claimed that the Nexus 5 will actually pack the Snapdragon 800. That's more like the LG G2, but it will be made of glass and retain the general idea that the original Nexus 4 had in design. We can pretty much expect more rumors and speculation to come out in the coming weeks for this phone that we're all really eager to see. Wearable tech seems to be gaining some steam, and Samsung wants to get in on that action. Apparently, the Unpacked event on September 4 will include more than just the Galaxy Note 3. A design patent was unearthed, detailing a smartwatch in development. Sam Mobile let loose the news on what is supposedly going to be called the Samsung Gear. However, these pictures are only speculative renders. But then we got even more substantial news regarding the Samsung Gear, this time from Bloomberg. Apparently the Gear will be able to make calls, surf the web, and handle emails, all of which will be powered by Android. Unlike these renders posit, however, there will be no flexible displays. Now don't forget to stay tuned because the Unpacked event in Berlin is on September 4, right before IFA, and we're going to bring you all of the news and announcements that Samsung has in store. Oh my god, what the hell is that thing growing out the back of your phone? News. Sony is looking to get into the high-end camera phone game by, quite literally, attaching a camera unit to the back of your Xperia phone. A legit Sony kit packing an 18-megapixel CMOS sensor can piggyback on, say, your Xperia Z, and greatly enhance your pictures of, apparently, strawberries, at least as was illustrated in this picture. And yes, despite your continued disbelief, these units are actually real. Currently called the QX100 or the QX line, one of these units reportedly include screen control, a socket for tripod mounting, and their own shutter buttons. They'll likely be announced alongside the Sony i1 in a few weeks right before IFA as well. Our final story of the day comes from LG and their return to the tablet game. The first clue unearthed was a trademark filing for the name the GPad, and according to TechBlog, it could be coming a lot sooner than we think. Claims include an 8.3-inch display capable of 1920 by 1200 resolution, a quad-core processor, and 2 GB of RAM. The back will be made of aluminum and supposedly will still be pocketable. While the report does seem somewhat sudden, we've known that LG has been slated to bring some sort of tablet to IFA in Berlin. It looks like this one could be it, and it could be released as soon as it is announced. As always, a written companion for this video can be found in the description below. Drop us a like, don't forget to subscribe, and of course, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out our other weekly features as well, Android Authority Q&A and the Sunday Giveaway, both usually hosted by Chris. However, today's Sunday Giveaway is being hosted by me, and you're going to want to check it out, because we're giving away something pretty cool. We have a lot in store for you on the Android Authority channel, so make sure you stay tuned, because we're your source for all things Android.